Have you ever wondered if one of the toughest fighters on Earth could defeat a chimpanzee in a fight? It's one of those questions that constantly appears online. Some people believe that an elite MMA fighter would easily win because humans are smarter, larger, and highly trained. Others insist that a chimpanzee would completely dominate any human in a matter of seconds. So, who's actually right? Today, we're going to separate myths from reality by looking at biology, strength, fighting ability, and what would really happen if an elite human athlete faced an adult chimpanzee. Let's get started.
Movies and cartoons have created an unrealistic image of chimpanzees. They're often shown as funny, playful, and much smaller than humans. Since most adult chimps weigh between 90 and 130 pounds, many people assume they would be easy to overpower. After all, professional MMA fighters regularly defeat opponents who weigh over 250 pounds. So how dangerous could a 100-pound chimp really be?
The answer may surprise you.
Chimpanzees aren't superheroes, but they possess physical advantages that humans simply don't have. For years, people claimed chimps were 5 or even 10 times stronger than humans. Modern scientific studies suggest that's an exaggeration. Instead, chimpanzees are generally estimated to be around 1.3 to 1.5 times stronger pound for pound than humans in pulling and climbing movements. That may not sound overwhelming until you remember that every pound of their body is built for explosive movement. Chimpanzees have extremely dense upper body muscles, longer arms that create powerful leverage, muscle fibers specialized for explosive force, remarkably powerful shoulders and backs. While humans evolved for endurance, running long distances, and throwing objects, chimpanzees evolved for climbing trees, swinging from branches, and wrestling with other powerful animals. Their bodies are designed for sudden bursts of overwhelming force.
One of the biggest advantages a chimpanzee has is its grip. A strong adult human may produce around 100 pounds of grip force. Elite athletes can exceed that. Chimpanzees, however, can generate several hundred pounds of gripping force. Once a chimp grabs your arm, shoulder, or clothing, breaking free becomes incredibly difficult. This is especially dangerous because chimps don't fight like humans. They don't square up. They don't throw combinations. They grab, pull, bite, and continue attacking until the threat disappears. Perhaps the most frightening weapon in a chimpanzee's arsenal is its bite. A human bite can certainly cause injury. A chimpanzee's bite is in an entirely different category. With incredibly strong jaw muscles and large canine teeth, a chimp can inflict devastating wounds. Even if exact bite force measurements vary between studies, everyone agrees that their bite is dramatically more dangerous than a human's. This means that even if a fighter lands a clean punch, the chimp only needs one successful bite to change the entire fight. Now let's be fair. Humans aren't helpless. We have several major advantages over chimpanzees. First, humans generally have longer legs and much stronger kicking ability. A trained fighter can generate tremendous force with kicks, knees, and elbows. Second, humans possess superior endurance. Chimpanzees rely on short, explosive bursts. Humans evolved to chase prey over long distances. An MMA fighter has exceptional cardiovascular conditioning and can continue fighting long after a chimp begins to tire. Third, humans are vastly more intelligent when it comes to strategy. Professional fighters know how to control distance, avoid attacks, and use leverage. Years of wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu develop incredible body awareness. Unfortunately, those skills were designed for fighting other humans, not wild animals.
This is where things become interesting. An elite fighter depends on predictability. Human opponents punch, kick, shoot for takedowns, or attempt submissions. Chimpanzees do none of those things. They attack chaotically. They rush forward with explosive speed. They grab whatever they can reach. They bite constantly. Their movements are difficult to predict because they don't follow any martial arts system.
Many grappling techniques would become incredibly risky because getting close means entering biting range. Even a perfectly executed takedown could result in severe injuries. That's why most wildlife experts recommend avoiding physical confrontation entirely whenever possible. Let's imagine one of the hardest punchers in combat sports history. Francis Ngannou possesses knockout power capable of putting heavyweight champions to sleep. One clean punch from someone like him could potentially stun almost any human opponent. But would that work against a chimpanzee? Possibly. The problem is actually landing that punch. Chimpanzees move differently from humans. They're lower to the ground. They explode forward rapidly. If the chimp closes the distance before a knockout punch lands, the fight becomes extremely dangerous. Even if Ngannou eventually wins, he could suffer catastrophic injuries in the process. Brian Shaw is one of the strongest humans ever to compete in strength sports. His accomplishments include a deadlift approaching 1,000 pounds, massive overhead presses, incredible grip strength, extraordinary back and leg power. If anyone could physically match a chimp's raw strength, Shaw is among the closest examples. However, strength alone doesn't guarantee victory. Chimpanzees possess agility that even elite strongmen cannot match. They accelerate quickly. They climb effortlessly. Their explosive movement is unlike anything seen in human athletics. Again, the unpredictability of the animal makes the encounter extremely dangerous. Now the situation changes dramatically. Humans have one evolutionary advantage greater than intelligence. Tools. A knife. A spear. A club. Even a simple stick dramatically changes the odds. Humans became Earth's dominant species not because we were the strongest, but because we learned to create weapons. A sharp blade allows a person to attack from a safer distance while inflicting injuries that even powerful animals cannot ignore. Historically, humans have successfully defended themselves against much larger predators using primitive weapons. So if a highly trained fighter or strongman were armed with an effective weapon and had enough space to use it, their chances would increase significantly. However, victory would still not be guaranteed. A chimpanzee can cover several feet almost instantly. One mistake could still result in life-threatening injuries. Let's break it down. Average human versus chimpanzee. The chimpanzee wins almost every time. Its explosive strength, powerful grip, dangerous bite, and aggressive fighting style are simply too much for an untrained person. Elite MMA fighter versus chimpanzee? The fighter has a much better chance of surviving longer because of superior conditioning, technique, and experience under pressure. But in an unarmed fight, the chimpanzee is still favored. The risk of serious injury is simply too high. Elite human with a weapon? This is where humans regain the advantage. Weapons are humanity's greatest equalizer. With proper training and an effective weapon, an elite human could realistically defeat a chimpanzee. Even then, success is far from guaranteed, and the person could still suffer severe injuries.
The internet loves hypothetical battles between humans and animals, but these scenarios often underestimate how dangerous wild animals truly are. Chimpanzees may look small compared to adult men, yet they possess extraordinary power, explosive speed, formidable teeth, and instincts refined through millions of years of evolution. Even the world's best fighters are trained to compete under rules against other humans, not against unpredictable wild animals. The smartest victory is the one where no fight happens at all. If you ever encounter a chimpanzee in the wild, don't test your courage. Back away, keep your distance, and let the animal be. Sometimes survival isn't about proving who's stronger, it's about making the smartest decision. So what do you think? Could any unarmed human defeat an adult chimpanzee? Or is the chimp simply too dangerous? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating comparisons, science, and survival content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.